What's up, guys? Army-Firedawg back, and today is actually the review time of the Edifier H850s. I've had these guys for about a week and a half now and really put a good bit of hours into them. So, Edifier sent me these in exchange for a free review, and of course, I was going to give one anyway, but these go for $60. Now, I'll be the first to admit, guys, I've gotten pretty spoiled over the years. I've not been in this for a whole lot of years, for about going on 4, into the higher, high end side of audio. So my ears have been getting spoiled. I've listened to $300 to $1,500 audio equipment. So when I was applied to review these for only $60, I was like, I had no worries, because quite often, because my ears are very adept to know what to listen to and what shouldn't exist in audio, a lot of times I can't even hear, or I can't even bear to listen to lower tier audio equipment anymore. It's just, I hear all the faults and just the things that shouldn't be there. It's just not an enjoyable experience at all, so I just take them off and go about my way. So, I read a couple of impressions on the Edifier, the company in general, and it was almost synonymous, if I'm using the right word, correct me down below in the comments if I'm not, of these is a really good company of price per their quality ratio. These can compete in products that are several times more expensive. So I was like, you know what, cool. So I put in my application to review these, which are their new flagships, the H850s. So I get them in. First off, as you see the box, very professional, very sleek looking box. I would assume this would be on a $200 or $300 product. It's not cluttered with useless jargon that I see on most lower tier or lower priced, audio equipment. The back is very similar. Just gives you more or less the important specifications, nothing else. Very simplistic, very minimalist. That was the first huge note. I do rate that. Now, when you go into the actual product, with respect to its, actually no, more than respect to its price, this thing is built very, very well. You have either a true leather or a fox leather headband. It's not that thick, but it was still quite comfortable. The cups look and feel nice. Isolation is very respectable. And just everything overall, I was very impressed with. And I know most of my reviews, I start with construction and work down, but I have a lot of good things to say about these guys. I was very impressed. But I will digress and go with my standard flow. And on the construction note, I already mentioned the headband. The cups, they swivel very, very easily. They don't clink or don't clack into each other, which I thought it would, because this is very, very plasticky and it does feel very inexpensive. But on the note of build, if you all are experienced or familiar with the brand Bose, these feel in every shape, form, and fashion like the Bose Soundtrues. I mean, in every way. I thought these were the Bose Soundtrues. The headband, when you extend them out, how it sits on your head, isolation, very similar to the Bose sound, or Bose Fit. Going down to the comfort, I have zero complaints. I've worn these, the longest I've worn them has been for 3.5 hours, but the most consistent, the average I wear them is about 2. That's usually for how long I wear something at a given period of time, just because I got to do other things. But I had no complaints at all with those. I put them on mostly while gaming, just general audio enjoyment times, listening to movies, which I'll get on movies in a second. But I had no complaints with the comfort. One downside to it, though, and it's the only one I could think of, and it's really kind of trying to get something, and it's the cable. I wish this could probably go into the construction side, but the cable that comes with it is a good bit too long. It's about 8 inches too long. But for a mobile platform, which is what that's made for, it's too, it keeps getting caught in my chair. When I'm moving around, it keeps digging into the chair, so I have to dig it out when I stand up, or else when I walk away from the chair, it'll pull me back. And sometimes I have a comfortable chair. Sometimes it's hard enough to get out of, let alone with this thing pushing me back in. Know what I'm saying? But anywho, that's the only very stretched thing I have with the comfort. Now, let's go to the sound. This is the most important part most people care about. Is for $60, how do the Edifier H850s sound? And now, if y'all know my personal preference is very mid-focused, I really don't like a V-shaped sound curve. But putting personal bias aside, these are very, very good. Now, going on the mention of the V-shape, they're very prominent. Like, mids are extremely recessed. Like, the mids are very absent and very unfulfilling and very hollow sounding. If you read my full written review, which is obviously posted in the description, I compared these to the Bose sound. I find both those products very hollow sounding. They're very fun to listen to. They put great emphasis in the treble and the bass range, especially on these. These are very bassy, in the good way. But I just don't get that fulfillment from the vocals. So, going to the soundstage, it's not an intimate one. Y'all know what I feel about when I give something an intimate rating. But it is very close. Like, it's a very narrow soundstage. But it has great separation. Not just for $60, but in general. It has really good separation. If I was listening to just a smaller group, like a Pentatonix, the song Daft Punk, I could very easily discern the different vocals. And usually it's about $130-ish price range before I get to this level of separation. So that's a huge plus side to the H850s. Cool. Let me digress and talk more about the individual aspects of the frequency band. And I'll start with the treble. The highs on the H850s are definitely spotlighted. They extend quite high, but yet they peak quite early, like they roll off themselves. Never once has there been a song where they're listening to violin or whatever, and I feel like I'm about to get ear quince. No, because it really rolls off before it gets to that point. But it's definitely emphasized. You know, when you turn your EQ band, you turn the treble up, it doesn't get louder, more piercer per se, but it emphasizes that spectrum. The same thing is on those. Same concept. A downside, however, is just like if you were to change the treble on your EQ band, it doesn't sound that natural. It sounds kind of fake, a little bit diluted. Not enough to become unenjoyable, but it's definitely not a natural presentation. Now, moving on to the mids, as I mentioned earlier, and I don't really have to touch too much on it, is the mids are very recessed. I get no fulfillment or no enjoyment out of the midsection. That's all. Now, bass, however, like the treble, the bass is very emphasized. But the bass on here is very impressive. It's respectably controlled, but does have some decay, so the bass notes will mesh into each other, which on most recordings, that's how the engineer describes it anyway, or designs it, excuse me. But when you turn the volume up or you get that nice rock song, you can flat out bob your head. It is a great, fun headphone and fun presentation. Like I said, I would recommend these for if you just want something to listen to music in the background while you're studying or whatever. Those are awesome. They're not good for critical listening, not good for that, but just for musical enjoyment, spot on. So, in conclusion, the Edifier H850s are currently, they are probably the best I've personally heard sub-$100 headphone I have ever heard. I would easily compare these to, like I mentioned, the Bose Soundtrues, or even my personal Sony MDR 10 RNCIPs. The quality is built very similar, and even the comfort is about exactly the same. As I mentioned in my unboxing video, a flagship headphone has a lot of negative connotation to it with having to be very expensive. This is the company's flagship headphone. It's $60. But the audio quality you get out of this for $60 opens up a huge market to a lot of people who they really want to get great sound. They really, really do, but they don't have even $100 to spend. They just want really good sound. They just don't have a huge budget. Now, I really recommend try and budget about $100 to get into the $100 range, but these give a really wonderful presentation for a very low budget. $60 is not that bad. That's the price of a video game. And so I would greatly recommend these to anyone, whether it be your personal self or a great gift idea for someone who you would like to get into the audio field, but they either don't have a lot of money or they're just trying to get the feel of things, find something of a sound they like. So, in ending, guys, great headphone for its price. I was quite surprised. I did almost write them off when I first got them, but I was very impressed. I did grow to be very impressed with the Edifiers. And I actually, if you remember my unboxing, I have their new earbuds to try out as well. So I'm very excited to try those out. But guys, as always, if you like the video, hit that subscribe button, guys. I greatly appreciate your support. If you have any questions on the Edifier headphones, any of my other products I have, or any recommendations of a product you'd like me to reach out to and try, I'm currently reaching out to, by request, Westone. I have been approved for an AudioQuest Nighthawk. I get those next week, so look forward to that. I have another very high-tier review coming up in about 2 months. It's an amp, but I can't really go too much more on that one. I think because that's still a prototype. And then I've also requested for RHA to try their T20s. Now, I cannot guarantee anything. All I can say is I've reached out because a couple of you guys have asked me personally, hey, can you do a comparison with this? I'll do it. I do the best I can. I've reached out to every one of them, sent my entire resume to them, support my reviewer's resume. But hey, we'll see. Never hurts to ask, right? But my name's Army-Firedawg. It's been a pleasure. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Keep yourself on the field in. But most importantly, and I cannot stress this enough, guys, stay safe.